games they played, they got a decent number of points, but then they gave up too many more points than they were able to score, and that's how you lose a football game.
Yeah, football comes down to line play in the National Football League. It really does. It's offensive versus defensive line, who controls the line of scrimmage, and the team that does that usually wins. I mean, that's the one constant factor in football. You can certainly make a case for turnovers and fluky plays and stuff like that, but it really does come down to line play, and the Lions have a horrible defensive line. Sorry.
Shag Johnson scored another touchdown today in the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wait.
Chad Ochocinco.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was going to say.
Chad Ochocinco.
It's
It's hard for me to differentiate between Johnson and Ochocinco at this point. Give it a couple more
He's quite
years.
an athlete, though.
Oh, he's tremendous.
And now with the Cincinnati Bengals 1-1, we could see my prediction coming to life.
Yeah, that's true. We laughed. We scoffed at Alex.
We
did.
Good. Myself included.
And we're still scoffing.
A little.
Yeah,
Not as much.
You never know.
By the way, were you the one who was ragging on me a few months ago about Clay Buchholz? Were you the one who said there was no way that he was going to be the number 3 starter for the Red Sox? Were you the one?
No.
Okay. Let's find out who it was.
All right. You sure?
Yeah, I'm
well,
sure.
you're kind of nervous.
I was away 3 months ago.
I don't know. I just do remember that I was taking a lot of shots by a lot of kids on the Back Talk show for my prediction that Clay Buchholz would emerge as the number 3 starter.
It was Andrew Ramsey.
Well, Andrew Ramsey would get on me for a lot of things, but I don't know about Buchholz. He didn't like Buchholz.
The magic message board told me.
Okay. Oh, the Mad Message Board told you.
Magic.
Ooh, the Magic Message Board.
Many of the hosts here and the kids who participate in this program will get on you for many different things and have gotten on you for many different things.
And justifiably so.
Justifiably so, absolutely.
I agree.
And the sooner you learn to cope with some of the things that people are saying to you, the better for all of us here. We're going to switch gears now. We're going to talk about the Boston Red Sox, who won again today over Baltimore. Winning, going in the right direction, heading into October. Looks like they're going to be playing the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in the playoffs. Daisuke, another solid performance today.
Who's your number 3 starter,
Who's your number 3 starter?
You?
Me? No, I'm not available. I've got a torn rotator cuff.
Really?
Yeah. Did I tell you about my Little League no-hitter? Sorry. I got to bring that up.
Gabe, though, is available in the bullpen.
All right, let's talk realistically. I think it's Daisuke Matsusaka because he's more savvy. He's a veteran.
Until he shows something that the Red Sox don't want to see, until he falters, I give it to Daisuke. He's pitched well. Baltimore today. He's faced the Angels, pitched well against the Angels, and again today against the Orioles. Angels, high end, very good team. Baltimore, low end, not great team. Pitched about the same in both of those games. Is consistency an issue?
So far, he's showing consistency.
Right.
Yes.
Will it be an issue? I guess is the question.
It's always an issue in sport because as a manager, general manager, you want a consistent performance out of all your players. That's what you strive for as an athlete and as a coach because you know what you're going to get.
But that's also tougher with Daisuke, who gives up more walks than normal pitchers, and he gets more. He's more of a risk in the playoffs. But he's more secure in thinking, knowing that if he doesn't let these runs up, it's a good person to put in there, and he has more experience.
Yeah, I think he's unflappable in tight situations. That's one of the things I like about him. And I think that those 3 guys, Lester, Matsusaka, and Beckett, in a short series, that's the thing about the Red Sox.
Paul Berg can show his value, too.
Yeah.
Paul Bird is risky, but if Paul Bird can provide 6 innings in a postseason game and a spot start, you can't ask for anything more from Paul Bird.
I'm not sure he's going to be on the postseason roster.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think he's going to be on the postseason.
Who do you think that 4th postseason starter will
Buchholz.
be? Buchholz?
No question about it.
What do you think they'll do with Wake?
Have him put him on the sidelines and wave. Maybe put him in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Maybe.
As a long guy?
Well, he plays a role. Right. If you're down 19-8.
He absolutely does.
Okay, he played a role in that game, in the third game against the Yankees, okay? And that is important. That's a thing about Wakefield having him on the roster is he can throw innings.
Right.
Okay, he'll throw strikes, and if his knuckleball isn't knuckling, he's going to get hit. Not someone I'd want to have on my team if I'm ahead in the game.
Especially not against the Angels in a series, just because they've seen him so many times.
Tell me you don't want to catch the Yankees just to make the Yankees play the Angels. Because as much as the Red Sox have dominated the Angels, the Angels have dominated the Yankees.
Right.
And I just think it would be great.
Red Sox can play with the Tigers and the Twins and match it up pretty well, too.
Yeah. But I was talking to people last night about this. Don't you think they have to play the Yankees in the postseason? Because it just doesn't mean the same thing if you don't beat the Yankees.
Well,
no.
Doesn't mean the same. It's not the same thing if they win the championship or play the Yankees. What would you rather have?
I don't care. All right? If the Red Sox win the World Series, I'm happy. I'm not going to worry about who they beat on the way, okay?
I think it would be just as exciting for Major League Baseball if the Yankees were to play an AL Central team and lose, just because no one would assume that. If the Yankees were
a bigger upset.
Right.
Yeah.
If the Yankees
and Red
were to
Sox
lose to the
Yankees,
Twins,
by the way, great drama in the postseason. We'd
Right.
love to see it. I mean, I'm not saying I don't. I definitely want to see it.
Yankees make me nervous, though.
Of course they do. I think in a lot of ways they're a better lineup than the Red Sox.
Yeah.
The Red Sox know how to win baseball games in October. And you're starting to see that right now. You're starting to see how they're winning games. And they're getting an awful lot of luck, too. Did you see the ball instead of strike against Nick Green on the Thursday night walk-off win? I think it was Thursday night. Get my days mixed up.
Did not see that.
Oh, my God. You didn't see that?
I did not see that.
No.
Oh, well, you missed it because it was right down the middle of the plate. And the umpire, I think his name was Reed, called it a ball. Called it a ball.
I remember now. Yes, he did. Rick Reed is an older umpire.
Horrible umpire.
He's kind of like Jimmy. He's kind of old.
Old and can't see very well.
Right.
Yeah.
Jimmy loves to get on the umpire.
Old and in
Just
the
like
Way.
Jimmy.
You ever hear that? You ever heard of that album, guys? Old and in the Way? Look it up online.
Old
Never
and in
mind.
the Way.
No, sorry.
Do they have it on CD or is it still record?
I have no idea, guys. It's been a long
Or
time.
did they carve it into dinosaur bones?
Dinosaur bones, probably. Yeah, keep it up for
One last point.
know
One
me.
last point for the Red Sox. When Victor Martinez was acquired,
Yes.
no one was sure what the Red Sox and Terry Francona were going to do with Youkilis and Martinez and Veritek and Lowell and Gutierrez and all those guys. Terry Francona has handled this situation probably better than we all assumed he would. In the postseason, when the roster trims down, what do you expect these guys to? What do you expect it to look like?
Well, I think what you're going to see is Victor Martinez in at catcher every single game. You have to put your best offense in there. You probably would see Tech maybe, now they're talking about perhaps Martinez catching Beckett in his next outing just so he gets used to it. Although I don't know. Here's the thing about Jason Veritek. Don't you think at some point in the postseason, okay, Martinez is going to get the majority of the play. But don't you see Veritek coming up in a pitch hit situation,
Like he's done so many times.
and deliver. I'm hearing a lot of rumbling in the other room, but then
it's
again,
not just from us anymore.
it has more to do with the fact that I think he's clutch and a veteran and a captain. And
It would be unfair, at the very least, for Jason Veritek not to see the field in the postseason, just because of what he's
And
done.
you mentioned Terry Francona does a great job as a manager, balancing his players, making sure everybody gets rest, time off, and playing time, and that's tough to do. So anyway, we're going to talk about Phil Kessel. You guys are both hockey guys.
We're both hockey
All right,
guys.
so I'm going to turn it around on you right away
Yeah.
and ask you flat out, what do you think of the trade? And maybe the Bruins got value, but how are they going to make up 36 goals?
Marco Sturm.
What do you agree with that?
Marco Stern coming from my favorite, the Sharks. Terrible idea, just trying to rely on him and not Phil Kessel.
That's not what I said.
Phil Kessel and Mike Krejci are the perfect...
Mike Krejci.
David Krejci.
David
Oh, it's good to know you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, David
Mike's
Krejci.
his brother.
Yeah, David Krejci are working. They work so well together on the ice, and they were probably the best pair of scoring for the Bruins.
Did you say Kessel and Krejci work well together on the ice?
Yes.
Aren't they both centers? Different lines?
What?
Krejci and Kessel are both centers.
No, for the power play.
All right, we got to wrap up. I'm not going to...
Right, I really want to hear you guys. All right, we'll have to.
We
We'll
have
come
to
back.
wrap
They
up.
played on the power play together. Though.
They did play on the power play.
They did,
together.
and
what I'm
the
talking
thing
about.
about Kessel, he can put the puck in the net, but it's the setup.
He
It's
is.
Mark
He is.
Savard.
Oh, he is so
But it's-
ugly in the
but it's
defensive
also
zone.
what
right,
they...
and he's also ugly in the locker room, from
Yeah.
what I understand. Okay, guys.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
did you not hear the story?
No.
So he's walking
gotta-
out real quick. I know we got to wrap it up. He's walking out of either the TD Bank North Garden or the Restucia Center in Wilmington where they practice. And Claude Julien sees him and he says, "Hey, weight room's over there." He goes, "Yeah, I know." Out the door.
Yeah.
Which you don't do to your coach, by the way. If the coach is saying to you, hinting, the weight room's over there,
Yeah.
you don't walk out the door.
Now, Claude Julien isn't a guy that I'd want to get in his doghouse. He's an intimidating coach and a good
Yeah.
coach. All right. We've talked about football, we've talked about the Red Sox, and we just briefly mentioned Phil Kessel and the Boston Bruins. We got to wrap up now. I'm Jake Saltzman, Alex Friedgood, Jimmy Young. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Happy week, everybody.